talk about this problem for a moment. It says Miss Miller has a goal to read 1,000 books in her lifetime. It wasn't a question. So far, she has read 476. About how many books does she need to reach her goal? I just heard some of you say you're almost there. How did you know that? How did you know that? Victor, how did you know that?
Because, you said 1,000?
I said 1,000, yeah.
Because, like, you only need 500 more books to read 426. 426. You need to get to 1,000.
Okay. About how many more books do I need? Now, I'm not looking for an exact answer. I just want to know, ish, how many I need. Victor has said that it's about 500. So the about symbol in math looks like this. It's a squiggle. 500 books. Okay, Michael, what do you think?
600.
Does it have to be like 2 zeros?
So I can't hear. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Can it be like an exact number?
I'm not looking for an exact number. I'm looking for an about number. So that's going to be a friendly number. Okay, so about 500 books. Does anyone else have a different guesstimate or estimate? Gwen, what are you thinking?
600. About 570.
Okay. Okay. That's still a friendly number, about 570. A little more specific, but still a friendly number. We're not writing anything right now. Bladen, what do you think?
I think like 580.
Okay.
584.
So that is an exact number, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just ish. Lincoln, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking. I was also thinking like 570.
Okay. Okay, Logan?
585.
Okay. Does anyone think 600?
No. I'm just thinking.
Evan, you think 600? Sure.
Okay. Me.
Sure. All of those answers are correct. All of those answers are correct. All of them. I am looking for something close to. So I'm going to assume, Victor, you tell me if this is right or not. I'm going to assume, Victor, when you saw 426, you were probably thinking, okay, here's 1,000, and I know that the middle is 500, and I'm pretty close to the middle. Is that what you were thinking?
I was thinking like 500. Like you see the 20, like you're taking like.
Okay, so hang on to that thought. When we just said 500, though, were you thinking about just the middle? Like halfway? Yeah, that's awesome. Love that. So Victor was saying, okay, well, halfway is 500, and you're pretty close there, so you need about 500 more to read. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, when we start looking at these, 570 to 580, we start looking at more than just what number is in the hundreds place. I'm sure Michael, Bladen, Victor, we're all starting to look at now, okay, I'm going to look at the hundreds and the tens. Because I have some tens in there. So I need a more specific answer. So now I'm trying to use my hundreds and my tens. What about 600? How did I get a close to number of 600? Can you figure out what I looked at? What I used from 426 to think about 600? Jacob, I need your eyes on the board. Shelby, what do you think? Is my number pretty close to 400 or is it pretty close to 500?
400.
Which one is it closer to?
400. 400.
If I have a number line, and I want to know, is my number closer to 400 or 500? What's my middle?
456.
458.
426 is not my middle.
450.
450 goes in the middle. We figured that out because my number line is a distance of 100. Take your head off, please. 50 is going to be in the middle. Where's 426 going to go now?
A little behind it.
A little behind what?
The 400. A little
Be right there. So is it closer to 400 or 500? Closer to 400, which means I have about 600 more to go. I really just used the hundreds. I didn't use my tens or my ones.
There's a 10 But you said we're trying to use our hundreds and
So if I did 570 or 580, I could use hundreds and tens. If I did 600, I'm just using hundreds. All of those are right. That's about how many books I have to read. None of those are exactly how many books I have to read. I'm just trying to get what is called an estimate. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to be writing on the next blank page. That's your title. It says when we are trying to get a close to number, what we are doing is we're estimating. That's what we just did. We estimated. Yep, so what I have, that sentence right there, is your title on your next blank page. Yes.
Pretty sure the answer was 574.
Okay. So again, we are not looking for an exact number. We are looking for an estimate. We're writing this title down, please, look. Like, do it right?
Not exactly.
Yes. That whole sentence is your title. When we're talking about a close to number, and we kind of talked about this a little bit in our example, I'm really talking about friendly numbers. We've talked about friendly numbers before. 2s and 5s are friendly numbers. When we're starting to deal with really large numbers, probably going to be using multiples of 10, 20, 40, 70, 100. We're probably going to be using multiples of 100, 100, 200, 150. All of those are going to be numbers that we're going to be looking for. So far, so good? Remember friendly numbers? Yes. Sometimes friendly numbers have this name.
Can we write that?
Yes, please. Yep. Sometimes friendly numbers are called benchmark numbers, and I'll put AKA. So if you see benchmark number, it's really just asking you to come to a friendly number, that next closest easy number for us to work with. So now that I know what estimating is, why would I do it? Why would I use estimation or estimating in real life? Why don't I want to come up with an exact number? Why would I want a close to number? Glidden, can you think of an example of when I would want to use estimating in real life?
Yeah, because like if you do a job and you could say it will be around like 500, 400. How would you know the exact number
Okay,
already?
so if we're talking about,
Okay, take your stuff.
you're talking about paying someone payment to give someone what we're going to say an idea.
Like, as a number.
Of how much? Sure.
Yeah.
people who do jobs like that do that all the time. They give an estimate.
My dad does it. He's the CEO.
Yeah, awesome. When my house is being built, they gave me an estimate. They said, okay, your floors are going to cost about $1,000. That was not the exact price, but it gave me an idea of, okay, that means I need $1,000. I need to save that much money. But if he said, okay, your floors are going to cost $10,000, I'd been like, whoa, bro, I need to find new floors. Because that is not okay. What's another example of when I might use estimating in real life? That was a really good example. Devin, what are you thinking? Okay, so if I'm working with large numbers, like really, really big numbers, sometimes I'm not going to want to find an exact answer. I might just use a close to number when we're writing, I'm drawing pictures right now.
Like 10,000.
So yeah, if I'm trying to find out how many pieces of wood it takes to build my house, that's going to be a lot.
Take up all the money.
So I want to just know about how many. I don't really need to know the exact number. What you thinking, Michael? Can you think of another example of when I might use estimating in real life?
If like your parents are like making cookies and they have like 26 but they need to get to 50, they would need to like estimate about like 30, and if it's too much then they'll do something with the other ones.
Yeah. So cooking could have some estimation. Not so much in the baking side, because it kind of matters how much flour and sugar. But yeah, when I make things, and it says, okay, you need half a cup of noodles. Sometimes I just pour the box in. I don't really measure. I just estimate. Oh, that looks like half a cup. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
No.
My mom has some.
Sean, can you think of another example of when I might use estimating in real
You're a
life?
builder, and then you're like building a house. Like, okay, I'm gonna say we need like 10,000 bricks to go on the base of this house.
Sure. Yep, definitely. That kind of goes when it happens a lot in building. Definitely. Victor, can you think of another time when I might use estimation?
First, like if people are on a run, like what you do.
Yep.
And like they're like running, and like you could get like a cooler and put a bunch of water bottles in it, and you could like sell those.
Okay.
Like
So-
you could sell them if they need water.
Are you saying I could estimate how many water bottles I might need? Yeah, definitely. I could even estimate how many miles I'm going to run. I do not ever go out on a run and say, you know how many miles I'm going to run? 2.78. That might be what I end up running. But I usually say, oh, about 2. Oh, about 3.
About 4.
Today, my girls are running a 5K. It is a practice one to get ready for our race. A 5K is 3.1 miles. Now, are they going to say, woohoo, I'm running 3.1 miles? Probably not. They're probably just going to say, I ran 3 miles. That is an estimate. Will, can you think of another time?
When you're in a rush.
Oh, when you're in a rush. Can you think of a time when you might be in a rush that you would need
Like
estimation?
and like gotta go to like a doctor's appointment and like
Ooh.
meeting. And you gotta like and you're trying to do your homework.
Yeah, we estimate time a lot, right? Oh, this homework's going to take me about 10 minutes. Oh, it's going to take me about 20 minutes to drive to my doctor's appointment. Lincoln, can you think of another time I might use estimating? Another good example, and I'm not sure if you guys ever participate in this with your parents, but a budget. Does anyone know what a budget is? Can you explain to me what a budget is? Victor, what's a budget?
I'm pretty sure it's like a budget's like where you're saving something.
Sure.
Like saving money or saving clothes.
Yep.
For
So a lot of people use a budget to save money, but it's a little bit more than just saving money. Ashlyn, do you know what a budget is?
That's how much you have to spend.
It's how much you have to spend. So when you are an adult and you get paid from your job, you have to buy food, right? You have to eat. So you have to make a budget. Okay, this week I'm going to spend $100 on food.
So
That's my budget. That's my estimation. So a lot of people, when we start making a budget of I'm going to spend this much money on Christmas presents, and then I'm going to spend this much money on coffee, and I'm going to spend this much money on Miss Miller, and then I'm going to spend this much money on
My dog.
Not that. I'm just. But yes, a budget is a really good way to use estimation. Gwen, what you thinking?
like how much you exercise.
Sure. Again, going with time, that estimation, right? Michael, what you thinking?
Well, you never wrote an L in your field.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Shelby?
Like if you walked dogs and you had 16 dogs, you exercise. But if you got back, you have to make sure you got all of them.
I don't think that's going to be estimating. You're probably going to want an exact number there. Sean, what are you thinking?
I was sarcasm. Some people say like they only have it looks like a lot, but you say that it's like say there's a lot of balls in the ball pit, but you're like oh there's probably just like 10,000 balls, and you know, it's like something.
Oh, could be. Could be. Finley, please don't talk while other friends are talking. So this week we are going to be talking about estimation. And I have this little cafeteria order sheet that I'm going to give you in just a second. Go ahead, go ahead and glue it into your notebook when you get it. But here, the way you're going to read it, if you need to turn the page, you can. If you want it on the same page, that's fine as well.
Wait, so that those are the things that would be hard.
Alright, so on this little cafeteria order sheet, we have 3 columns. The first column tells us the day of the week. Yes. The next column tells us how many hot lunches. A hot lunch is something that the cafeteria makes. So think like tacos, or chicken nuggets, or cheeseburgers. That would be a hot lunch. A cold lunch is like what you guys get on the early release days, where it's not hot, it's just kind of like a sandwich. So at this school where this came from, the students get a choice as to whether or not they're going to have a hot lunch or a cold lunch. They get to choose every day.
Wait, really?
Really? What? We do not get to choose. That's okay. That's okay. But at this school, the students get to choose whether they're going to eat a hot lunch that day or a cold lunch that day. Each day, it tells you how many hot lunches were sold versus how many cold lunches were sold. So on Monday, 248 hot lunches were sold, and then 257 cold lunches. Did you see how I read that chart? Go ahead and take some time and look over, and we're going to talk about some things that you notice and some things that you are wondering. All right, Bladen, what's something that you noticed?
They have a lot of students.
They do have a lot of students. How did you figure out that they had a lot of students?
Well, I didn't count, but when I looked at the hundreds, they had about 500.
Okay, how did you figure out 500? Because I don't see 500 on that sheet.
So whenever I go to all of them, and I add the tens and the hundreds, and these are around 500 or 480.
Okay, so Bladen is looking at each day individually,
Or higher.
and he's saying, okay, I know that people likely aren't buying both a hot lunch and a cold lunch, because that's a lot of lunch. So these are all different people. So about 248 and about 257. That's pretty close to 250. So Bladen's saying, okay, it's about 500 people getting lunch every day. That's a lot of people. What else do you notice? That is a lot of people getting lunch. What else do you notice? What do you notice?
Notice that a lot of people they get way like not way more but more hot lunches and cold lunches because the hot lunches is going up into the 300s.
Yeah.
Cold lunches is in the 100s.
Yeah, so not always, but it seems like the hot lunches are more popular. Gwen, no, thank you. It seems like the hot lunches are more popular. Sure. John, what are you noticing?
I noticed that on Monday, the hot lunches are pretty close to the cold lunches.
Yeah, so sometimes they're about even. And then sometimes the hot lunch must be really, really good. I'm wondering what the hot lunch was this day.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people got it. I bet it was probably pizza or tacos, something really yummy. What is something you're wondering? What is something you're wondering? Michael, what are you wondering?
Is that just like their class or like the whole school?
I'm going to assume that it's the whole school because it's the cafeteria. Right, and the cafeteria serves everybody.
Well, not everybody else to be at lunch, but yeah.
Yeah, unless you brought your own lunch, sure. Well, then what are you wondering?
What I was wondering, what I was wondering is there more hot lunches in all?
What do you mean by that in all?
How much kids got hot lunch in the week?
Oh, how many kids got hot lunch in the week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashley, what are you wondering?
What do they serve all these things?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the menu is because it kind of looks like maybe the menu is why people choose different options. Sure. Will, what are you wondering?
Are the cold lunches any good?
Yeah, are the cold lunches any good? I'm going to say maybe on Tuesday it wasn't. Why did I say Tuesday wasn't very good?
Because there's like only 100 people that got it.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like maybe Wednesday it was a pretty good option. That's pretty close to almost 300 kids. Elena, what are you wondering?
How many lunches started all together with
Yeah, how many lunches did the cafeteria sell? Hot lunches and cold lunches all together. Wow. Devin, what are you wondering?
I'm wondering why on Tuesday
Yeah. All right, we're going to keep using this chart, but we're going to look at this question. You have it in your table, so I'm going to scroll up for a second. It says, on what day was the number of hot lunches about the same as cold lunches? And then how do you know? So none of the days has the exact same. But on what day was the number of hot lunches about the same as cold lunches? Go ahead and spend some time, look at your chart and see if you can figure out which day was the number of hot close to the number of cold. When you think you know, you can write it down. We'll share out in a minute. No, so it's not going to be Thursday because 301 is still pretty far away from 226. So if you want to put a little X by Thursday, can someone find what day it's not? Like a worse answer than Thursday? What would be a worse answer?
Like the worst one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shelby?
Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. Look at those options. 362 is not close to 143. All right. What do we think? What day was the number of hot lunches about the same as the number of cold lunches? Elena, what do you think?
Wednesday.
You think Wednesday? Who else thinks Wednesday? Elena, can you tell me why you think Wednesday?
Because it's only 4 away from there.
Oh, so the difference, you remember what difference is?
No.
The difference between these two numbers is only 4. And that's really small, the smallest distance than any other ones. So underneath, I want you to write Wednesdays. You probably already have some of that. Wednesdays lunches were about the same. If you have a different version of that, that's fine. But we should have something like that as our answer sentence. So I love that Victor is offering another idea. So he said, well, Monday's pretty close. Let's look at the distance. If you went from 248 to 257, how many is that going to be? So we're looking at the difference between 248 and 257. It's 9. That is still really close.
Yeah.
That is still really close. It's just not the closest option. That's like the number 2 answer. But you're right. Monday's lunches are pretty close. They're both really close to about 250. And same with Friday. Friday's pretty close together too. Those are like number 2 answers. But the one that's the closest is Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesday and Monday. Yeah.
Same.
Yes, Clayton.
So I was curious about this. So, but I saw these two numbers were the same.
On what day was the number of cold lunches about 20 more than the number of hot lunches on the same day? So on what day was the number of cold lunches about 20 more than the number of hot lunches on the same day? I know that my cold lunches is going to be more. So is there like a super wrong answer I could go ahead and cross out? I want my cold lunches to be more than my hot lunches. Can you find a super bad answer? So I want my cold lunches to be more than my hot lunches. So like a super bad answer would be one where the cold lunches was not more.
Oh, like
Lennon, you found a super wrong one?
yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Today.
Yeah, look at Tuesday. Is my cold lunches 20 more than my hot lunches?
No.
No, it's like 200 less.
200.
You were going to say that one? Did anyone else think of a pretty super wrong answer? Wrong.
On cold, on hot lunches.
I want a wrong answer. We're trying to figure out the day that cold lunches had 20 more than hot lunches. Victor, you found another super wrong one?
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. Again, same problem as Tuesday. It was less than our hot lunches. So we know it's not Tuesday and we know it's not Thursday. So which day is the number 1 answer? Which day was our cold lunches about, not exactly, but about 20 more? Finley, what do you think? Friday? How'd you figure out that it was Friday?
Friday.
Uh-huh.
I think we're having a cold lunch.
Okay, so Tenley's looking, oh, no, thank you. Tenley is looking at the 10s, and she noticed that in Friday it had 1 10. And the cold lunches had 3 10s. So that means we needed 2 more 10s. Another way to think about it, Tinley, 239 is close to what friendly number? 240. What about 217? What friendly number is 217 close to? Sean?
220.
220. Hey, it's 220 still has a difference of 20 to 240. Did we find out any exact numbers?
No.
No. All we did was play with friendly numbers and close to numbers.
Are we looking
Sean?
at this?